Hello everyone, welcome back to the workshop. It is fantastic to have you here as ever, because in today's episode we are going to be making a PVC horsebow. Now this is not a bow for killing horses, it's not a bow made out of horses. In fact, this is a bow intended to be ridden on horseback. So the mounted archer would find it more efficient to be using a shorter, more powerful bow. These were mainly used all throughout the Middle East, and in different tribes and stuff. The one I'm making today is in the style of a Turkish horsebow, but there are many different styles. So some of the tools you'll be needing for today is some paracord. You could use any type of string, but paracord's the most efficient. You need a permanent marker, electrical tape, a chainsaw file or a half round file or a fully round file, tape measure, most importantly a heat gun. This is for heating up and then shaping your pipe. And talking on the pipe, now if you've seen some videos by the Backyard Bowyer or some other American people, they would mention Schedule 40 PVC pipe, which looks like it works great, and I'm sure it does, but the only downside to this is the fact that it's not readily available in the UK. So I tried making a bow with the cheap, easy stuff you can get from B&Q. Doesn't work. It just snaps. It's not up to the challenge. So you need to get yourself some Schedule 40, no, Class E, which is the same as Schedule 40, 3/4 inch PVC pipe. It's a lot thicker. It's a different colour. It's a lot stronger. It reacts a lot better to the heat treatment. So it doesn't melt. It doesn't go brown. It just generally all rounds a lot nicer to work with. And you get a much more efficient and sturdier bow at the end. Right, let's get into it. So, first of all, you get your Class E PVC pipe, 3/4 inch PVC pipe, and you're going to measure 48 inches. So my pipe is at 48 inches, and now what you want to do is you want to measure the centre at 24. So once the centre is measured, you want to draw the line all the way around, so you know exactly where the centre is. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just got to make sure it goes all the way around like that. Then you're going to measure 2 inches either side. So that's 2 inches there, and that's 2 inches there. And you're going to do the same. You're going to put the marks all the way around the bow. Now, the only reason I'm putting the marks all the way around the bow is sometimes you miss where the mark is if you only got a tiny little mark. So, oh gosh. So there it is. So there's the centre. That's the handle portion. That's 2 inches from the below, 2 inches atop. So altogether you've got a 4-inch handle. And now you want to measure 6 inches in from the end. And this is where your recurve is going to go. So tape measure down, get the pen out. 6 inches, just a little dash. Flip it over. 6 inches on the other side. Put a little dash. Cool. So now we've put the lid on the pen. So now we've got our recurves on either side. They've been marked out. The centre and the handle portion's been marked out. Now we need to get out our heat gun and start heating one side of this. Right, so now your pipe is nice and malleable. You're going to take your cloth, I forgot to mention you need a cloth, and you're going to press down from here all the way out. If you feel any hard parts, then you're going to press harder there. So you want it nice and even. So you want to taper out here and a taper out here. Right, now once you've flattened this side and it looks like this, sorry about that. Now once you've flattened this side, it looks like this, so it's got a taper here and it goes out to another taper here. You're going to do exactly the same to that side. Right, now we've flattened both sides. One side looks like this and the other side looks like this. You should have a round bit on the corner, tapering down, flat, 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 and then tapering back up, round bit, taper, flat, taper, round. We're going to work on the handle portion. Now this isn't a particularly nice grip because it's a bit too round. I'm going to flatten it off, not completely flattened, but just so it's a little bit nicer than this. Right, so get a heat gun out and then start. Might help if you put some weights on either side to stop it moving. And sometimes when it gets a bit too hot, you can always just dunk it in a bit of water or spray it with some water or something. But yeah, it's a very simple yet effective way of making such a high poundage bow. So the last bow that I made, the one that I showed you in my short, that's a £35 bow. Now that's not the price if you live in England. That is the poundage, so how much poundage it takes to pull back the bow. Right, so that's the handle done. I'm going to go dunk it in some water, and then we're going to start on the ends. Right, so moving on to the ends. So you've got the flat portion here. What you're going to do is turn it 90 degrees. So you're going to have a flat portion here. So it's flat, turn, flat. So I'm going to turn it on its side, heat up, wait. Turn it on its side, heat up this portion, flatten it off, put a bit of recurve in it, and then move on to the other side. So when flattening it, I'm just going to put it into a vise to make sure it's completely flat. Right, so that's it flattened. So you've got flat portion, turn, flat portion. Now we're going to put a bit of recurve in it. So we're going to heat up this portion here, bend it back just a smidge, and then cool it down. Right, so we've got our recurve in it. And one thing I forgot to mention is the bow is going to bend towards the side which the handle is facing. So the longer part of the handle is the inside of the belly, the inside of the bow. So in a bow, you've got the back of the bow, which faces away from you, and the belly of the bow, which faces towards you. You want the recurve to be facing away from you. Okay, so now I'm going to work on the second half of the recurve. Everyone, welcome back to the workshop, and welcome back to part 2 of the horsebow build. So in the last episode we flattened the limbs, sorted out the handles, and we did both sides of the reflexes on the tips. In this episode we're going to cut the notches, we're going to put a deflex in the limbs, put a handle on it, and launch a couple of arrows down the range. So we're going to heat up the middle of our limbs and just bend it towards us slightly, so that it gives our string a bit of an advantage when we're trying to put it on there. Right, now we've put a deflex in this side, we're going to put a deflex in the other side, and then we're going to move on to our nocks. Right, so now we've done both deflexes. We're going to put a notch in the top, string the bow, and then launch some arrows down the range. So putting the notches in, you could either use a bandsaw, a handsaw, a file, whatever you want. You just got to put the notch going down this side. Right, with both notches in, we're ready to string this bow and launch some arrows. So, when you're stringing a bow, what you want to do, move out of the way first, what you want to do is lay the bow down flat. You're going to get your string, and you're going to tie an overhand knot loop in one end. You're going to slide that down, you're going to knock it in knock it in there. You're going to go to the other end of the bow. Go about 4 inches down, tie another overhand knot, loop it on, and that's that done. So you might find out that some of your that when you string the bow, it's not quite right. I found that out. The reflex is a bit too weak. I put a bit more reflex in, and that's it. Anyway guys, thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed it, have a nice day.